When you go to the SQL, see, let me open for your understanding. Let me open SQL Server Database Management Studio. So when you go to SQL Server concept, there are four categories: database engine and analysis service engine, reporting service engine, and the integration service engine. So basically, we are more concentrate on database engine. On towards our sessions, we are going to consider another database. When you go for a database reporting engine and integration engine and analysis engine, so these four very important. So now for we are no more discussing about analysis service engine and reporting service engine and integration service engine. We are completely concentrating on database engine, because your database is hosting on a database engine, right? Whatever you are storing the data, whatever data will be maintaining in the database engine, you can control, you can access, you can modify, you can do whatever everything you are doing from the database engine. That is why we are more concentrate on database engine. So when you go to the SQL server, SQL is a Microsoft RDBMS, okay, technology framework. SQL is a Microsoft RDBMS technology framework. You can call it is technology. You can call it as a framework that works on client server architecture, works on clients, your client and your server. End users send the request to the SQL server. SQL server accept the process the request and share the result with the user. Accept that request to process the request and share the result with user. Try to connect from the browser, from application, from tool, whoever end user is sending request, so that request SQL server will accept. Request will process the request and will send the result to the application. Since the result to the your application. See, when you go to database engine, when you search Google database engine, this is basic engine, this is advanced level engine. I'm not discussing this image as of now. I'm discussing about this image. I'm discussing about this engine. So this image we are going to discuss lot about this image as of now. We have one more engine which contains one more layer. This image. See, you are getting one more layer, right? This is one more layer on this image. What you are seeing the same, it will be available on this layer. But we have one more layer. Whatever we are going to discuss today, that is only one layer. But I'm not discussing about this image today's session, because somewhere over concept again you need to know a lot about concept about what is what. So I cannot explain you on the day about SQL OS. We will discuss at the advanced level. So a lot in advanced level. So even we cannot understand about SQL OS because contains lot of mechanism, because your SQL OS interaction with the kernel. Kernel is heart of the operating system. It can schedule the activities. It can detect. It can do whatever background. And as part of today, we are completely focused on database engine core components. When you go to install SQL Server software on laptop and desktop, when you open Task Manager, you go to services like SQL Server.exe. When you open the Task Manager, you'll see one service like SQL Server.exe. When you open Task Manager, you can see services SQL Server.exe. When you go to Task Manager, you can see this site. You you will see one service like SQL Server.exe. Every service you will get process ID. See, when you open Task Manager as well, you open Task Manager in your laptop, in your desktop. You can install SQL Server 50 times. I can tell you one comparison. If you have take MS Office, I can tell you what comparison. If you have take MS Office, when you go for MS Office, you can install one product only once, right? You will agree or not? You can install one product once only. or you install you can install multiple time, but when you go for SQL Server software, you can install 50 times on your laptop, means you can maintain 50 separate instances. Every instance, it is a independent. There is no there is no dependent. Every instance is independent. Also, you may see two instance, one instance is running, and you can, if you want to, you can two instance you can also install, and three instance also you can install, four instance also you can install maximum. But we cannot be on that we cannot go behind on four instance, because performance will go like anything. So this is what concept about SQL services. So this is what, sir, concept service features. I think you can install multiple times in one laptop and one desktop. Okay, because each having own DLL and exe file separately. You will discuss lot. Now when you go to database engine, when you go to database engine, you see now this is my end user. Means, for example, you connected to the ICICI Bank or Citibank, HSBC Bank, you connected through the portal, you're connected through the application. It is up to your point. You can connect through the portal, you can connect to the application. What you are trying to do, you want to retrieve your bank statement for 1 year, you want to bank statement for 1 year, the statement tab and or object, or what will pass, what is starting here, what is ending here. You can just click on the submit. First submit it, first it will interact with your operating system based on your server is hosted. Means, where your server is hosted, where your data is hosted, trying to understand how it is through network, it will go to operating system, where your SQL server is hosted, whatever data is hosted, that SQL server we are discussing SQL, so that will connect to the first to the operating system. Now it is trying to authenticate SQL server. Whatever statement you are passing, that is high level. It is not understandable SQL server. Now what will do? It will convert. It will convert to network packets. It will connect to the your SQL server. There are three more concept. Three more components. There are one is operating system, one is network, and this is not interacted with direct your server. First it try to connect to the operating system. From operating system, it is directly connected to the SQL server through the network packets. How they authenticate through network packets means, let me give you one example. See, either you are performing select statement, you are trying to insert the data, you are trying to update the data, you are trying to delete the data. Okay, first exactly it will do SNI. SNI is nothing but SQL network interface. SQL server network interface establish the network connection through the network protocols. Through the network, it is try to interact with the SQL server. Network protocol with this trying to interact with the SQL server. So how means, we have four network protocol actually. We have four protocols. Now we are having only three protocols only. Only one already duplicated service. We no more using. But actually we have four protocols only. What are that means? Shared memory and named pipes and TCP IP and VIA. VIA means virtual interface adapter. It is already duplicated. Now no more. Now through network using this protocol, either it is using shared memory or it is using named pipes. It is using TCP IP. Through this protocol, it is trying to authenticate to the SQL by using TDS format. TDS means tabular data stream packet. TDS packets try to interact with the SQL server. Packets is trying to authenticate to the SQL. Now once you are authenticate to the SQL server, it come to picture. Now you see the picture. SQL OS is SQL OS is nothing but SQL operating system. Now your SQL operating system will assign one SP ID for you. For you means session ID one session for you, because your session, how much CPU need to allocate, how much memory need to allocate, how much buffer I need to allocate, what kind of, right, all this allocation will be handled by SQL OS only. And so now we are not discussing anything about SQL OS. Again, I am telling. So we are discussing to advanced level because it contains lot many components. You must should know about free emittive scheduler and corporative scheduler, and what is master slave architecture, what is thread life cycles, lot you need to know. Who are already having experience, I will show you what will show you SQL OS and what exactly SQL is doing, and we are not much that concept to discuss day by one. Starting, we cannot understanding all this concept. Okay, whatever we are at least we completed half of the concept, then only you peoples can understand what happening in the SQL server. Then you can understand easily, you can strong at OS level also. And about network protocols, SQL server network interface is the network protocol layer to connect the database engine. So we have three protocols. One is shared memory, and one is named pipes, and one is TCP/IP. See the tabular data stream. TDS is the application layer protocol used to transfer data between the server and the client. Very simple. TDS is the application layer protocol used to transfer the data between the server and the client. When you see this, you can understand easily how the data is transferring, what is the request you are sending to the server, what is output sending SQL data transfer through TDS format. It is a application layer protocol which is designed for a Sybase. There is a This is very interesting. This was initially designed developed by the Sybase only. Means our SQL server parent actually. The concept is taken from Sybase in 1984 onwards. We are using TDS approach only. There is no change in protocol. We are in now 2022. Still, this is packets we are using to transfer the data to communicate with the SQL server. If someone is asking how our application is authenticate the SQL, you may answer easily by using network protocols using TDS packets. It is trying to authenticate with the application to this SQL and SQL to the application in the 1984. So when you take your laptop, so SQL Management Studio is your client, and my SQL also is installed in. Suppose I'm taking my laptop, so SQL Management Studio is my client, and my SQL also installed in my laptop only, and my client also available in my laptop. In that scenario, it will use shared memory, and your client and server is hosted on same machine, right? And share memory you can use it. When you go for named pipes, every laptop and every desktop having a LAN cable, right? Whenever your client and server is interacting with the LAN cable, then you will enable the named pipes. Whenever client and your application your server is interacted with LAN, then you need to enable the named pipes. But as the best practices, as far as SQL hardened and SQL is and Microsoft is recommending to disable the named pipes. Your application is having compatibility issues, and your application will interacting with the LAN cable. You can enable the named pipes. Then definitely you need to enable the named pipes, and before that you need to educate our application team in case they are telling that we don't have any other option, this is my application compatibility, then definitely you should enable the same, then definitely you should enable the named pipes. So otherwise should disable. The name pipe is named pipes a practice basically should disable mode. Basically TCP having port number. What is default port number? You know what is the default port number of SQL server? Everybody tell 1433, but it is a TCP IP port number. Whenever you are connecting using TCP protocol, you are protecting your with the port number. If you don't know about the port number, they cannot authenticate to the SQL server, right? How you protect your SQL server with the port number with the instance name to protect. TCP IP is protecting with the port number, but when you are connecting with the named pipes, no need to pass any port number. SQL server port number is not 1433. Your TCP IP is 1433. That is the reason. What about the SQL shared memory? When shared memory will use means my laptop I'm having SQL server. When you go to shared memory, will use means my laptop I'm having SQL server. I'm having client. Then I can use shared memory. No need to anything for me. I can use directly to the SQL server because server is hosted on my machine only, right? Same machine. Client is also hosted on my machine. Let me show. I can show you practically who already working. Again, once to understand everyone easily. If I am have if I'm disabling all network protocols, after that we need to restart the services. Completely your SQL server is down, right? It means any network protocol should be run. Then only SQL server run. Don't implement of the live servers is very impacting anything. Let me enable all this. I cannot connect SQL server, right, with any of the without any of the network protocols. Let me discuss. Shared memory means my client, my server hosting on same machine. I can authenticate the definitely. My server is showing on the same version, same machine. I can authenticate directly, definitely. Named pipes means your application will come to you and they will specially contact you. Okay, enable named pipes, but disable shared memory. This and all don't implement of the live servers as a very impacting anything where production database administrator be careful if something you are doing that makes any impact you need to check double check. You need to it don't start. Okay, go and start now. What is a TCP/IP? It is widely used protocol. So widely used protocol through networks. We are going to use protocol means how we are supporting from home, right? When you are supporting home, most of the project we're supporting from different countries, right? We are supporting from different countries and different data centers. Now we are supporting from home also, and we are supporting from home. Servers are hosted in somewhere, and you are trying to connect from somewhere. Throughout our global is connected with network. Your TCP IP widely used protocol to the network, and you can connect from anywhere. You can connect from anywhere. You have the internet. If you have the internet, you can connect anywhere. And but you know about port number, you know about connection string, you know about everything. That is how Microsoft is protecting your connection TCP/IP. VIA, Virtual Interface Adapter. VIA is already duplicated. This is no more. We are using VIA like Virtual Interface Adapter in early days. We are connecting SQL through internet. Whenever you want to authenticate, you are trying to connect with Wi-Fi. So whenever you are trying to using Wi-Fi, and we want to authenticate our services, our servers using Wi-Fi, then you go for VIA. Maybe Microsoft got to know that it is very risky, so they completely disable that protocol. Now no more. Then main architecture is okay. We're going to discuss when you go to database main architecture. When you're going to discuss database engine, okay, is the core concept of SQL Server where you are managing your securities, you are managing your transaction, you are managing queries, everything you are going to control in the database engine. So database engine is the core component of the SQL server. But when you go to database engine, we have two more components. When you go for a database engine, we have two more components. One is a relational engine, one is storage engine. When you are installing database engine, by default you are getting two more engines internally. That is a relational engine and a storage engine. So actually your transaction process, your queries processing, your security management, everything handled by the database engine means database engine. It is a heart of SQL Server. Technically is nothing but everything you can do on the database engine. But when you go for database engine, we have two more engines. One is a relational engine, one is a storage engine. So first we are going to discuss see your database engine core part of our architecture. This provides the layer between your client connectivity using the available protocol and SQL OS. It is going to interact with the protocols and SQL OS, and it is making the connectivity. DB engine represent the logical architecture of the SQL server. It contains again the tool contains the logical in your storage engine and relational engine. Whenever you are seeing you are connecting to database engine, you are trying to connect to the SQL. When you are trying to connect to the SQL, we are connect to database engine, but that is logical. Just for our viewing person, you are connecting database engine, right? But what is physical? Once you can connect to the database engine on that database engine, once you are connecting the physical, this logical architecture index tables that can be discussed on development point of view. Once you connect to the database on database engine, first you are connected to the relation. Now once you connect to the database engine, you are connected to the relation engine, and a relation engine are three more concept. We have three more concept on a relation engine. What are the three more components? And a command processor, and query optimizer, and query executor. And there are three components are available in relation engine, and command processor, and query optimizer, and query executor. Once is connected to the relation engine, it will first straight away go to command processor, and it will check the syntax error. See whatever you are passing the data. So assume I have reading the data, select star from EMP. Okay, instead of you are making from form you are making, and now you are making a mistake, right? This syntax error. This kind of syntax checks, it will do your command processor. It will check syntax error first. It will pass the request. First it will pass the request in the parse. It will check the syntax error, and that is what maximum people can understand. We have physically relational engine and storage engine. In relation engine we have again three components. In relation engine we have again three components: command processor, query optimizer, and query executor. In command parser, we have processor. SQL server will first check the syntax error. Once our syntax is perfect, then what exact anyone what will do, complete the syntax, and okay, employee name, employee ID, salary, and come date, joining date, phone number, and employer table, and no, and what exactly will do, first to go to command processor. It will compare, it will check syntax error. Once syntax is perfect, then it will start binding the tree. Whatever you're processing in the high level language, which is not understandable SQL server, it cannot understand your high level language. Now it will start converting this into mission level language, that is understandable language. Mission understanding language nothing but low level language. Now what exactly it will do, it will start converting your data into low level language. And how it is starting converting, it will start binding the request. Parsing is the general terms, which means performing from one language to another language. You're passing TSQL query. You're passing SQL query. Now your output will be query tree. It will prepare the tree means how many tables, how many records, how much columns you are trying to retrieve. It will start preparing the query tree internally. It will start preparing query, that is nothing but low level language. Parsing is the activity in which the user input high level language is converted to mission understandable code. This is low level language. Suppose my point, because optimizer I cannot tell you right away about optimizer, because optimizer I cannot tell you right away about optimizer for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It may take 2 hours for me, because optimizer is a hard for SQL server. The main entire our database engine, what is main component is optimizer. We should have a lot of content to understand what exactly optimizer is doing, and your command processor will pass the request and it will prepare the query tree, and that query tree will go to optimizer. uh, Suppose assume you have 5 friends, and you are planning one trip, and one trip either is same state or either a different country. What exactly will look into? First will look into amount. So amount will look into, and method, and how we need to travel to desired location, either airway or roadway. And we have again more type, like we have again more types, right? Like same you plan, right? Now same SQL will also prepare the plan your request. SQL server will also plan your request. Your optimizer will prepare execution plan based on the selectivity, based on your cost, based on the selectivity, based on your cost. Try to understand these terms. As of now, it is your parser will prepare query tree. Your optimizer will start preparing the execution plan based on the cost, based on selectivity, based on the cost, based on the selectivity. It will start preparing the plan. Cost means our point of view money, but SQL point of view CPU, memory, IO, and whenever you are passing any request that is not understandable by SQL server, it need to convert to low level language. Now it will go to optimizer. Your optimizer start preparing the plan for you. Optimizer is cost based process, where the optimizer choose the least cost plan, means CPU, memory, and IO. Once it prepares the execution plan, it will go to SQL query executor. But make note, your relational engine there is no data. In relation engine there is no data. Your data handle process manager by the storage engine. That is what here. Your transaction has been validating and parsing, preparing the plan. Everything will be done by your relational engine, but actually data will handle by the storage engine. Actually your data will be handled by the storage engine. So once optimizer prepare the execution plan, it will go to executor. Your executor start the execution plan, but I don't have data, but relation engine not maintaining any data, right? Now your executor send the request to storage engine. This request I have been you, please provide me the data for the request. Again when you go to storage engine, again lot of subcomponents: access method, buffer manager, buffer pool, plan cache, data cache, transaction manager, log manager. We have lot many components are available in the storage engine, but still we are discussing SQL. But Microsoft is not that much documented. When you go to SQL architecture, we cannot get that much information what exactly internally is happening. Now your executor send request to access method. And the storage engine contains of the physical database architecture along with the access and buffer manager. Again, I'm telling, so there is no dependence. I'm not explaining couple of things today. Tomorrow, day and the day after tomorrow, we keep going, and finally, it next session will become more stronger in the core concept. I need to yet to discuss lot of things like what is cache, what is dirty pages, what is wall concept, what is a lazy writer. Lot of things we have to discuss. We'll discuss one by one. You will get better idea. Just wait for two more sessions. Okay. After two more sessions, when you go for a storage engine, major component is buffer. Your buffer is nothing but your RAM. See, whenever you are sending any request, so first it will go to a relational engine. It will pass the request. It will prepare the execution plan. It will try to the executor. Your executor will send the request to access method. You will come complete your transaction is processing is handled from the buffer itself only. Buffer is nothing but your RAM. Whenever you start SQL server, it will create a buffer manager for your SQL server to perform SQL related activities. That can be insert, that can be update, that can be delete. And a buffer is plays a major role in the storage engine. But again, I'm telling it's RAM. When you compare with disk memory is the much faster. So that is the reason all the database management system, they are going to perform all activities over the buffer only. They are not performing with direct to the disk. Everything, either you are performing, reading, inserting, updating, anything, sir, that will be handled from the buffer only. So that is what I explained. And everything will be handled in the buffer. For your understanding purpose, buffer manager is a critical for us. Buffer manager is critical for us because everything is processing on the buffer. Forgot about this all 30 pages and everything. Wait to hold. I can explain everything. Whatever your executor sends a request to the access method. Access method contains multiple APIs. So API access method contains application programming interface because see your executor having query plan, but how storage engine knows that what kind of data that plan is accepting from us, what kind of data that can be accepting from us. We are not sure, right? So your access method has segregated into two categories. One is select category, one is not select category. Means one is data retrieval, one is your business transaction like inserts or updates or delete, create or alter something. You can access your access method contains the APS. APS is application programming interface, which will decide whether you are performing data retrieval, you are performing non-data retrieval, means inserting the data or updating the data or deleting data. Based on your request, your access method will work accordingly. Whenever your executor send request to the access method, your access method contains APIs, application programming interface, understandable for storage engine. What kind of request, either select statement or not. Select statement is nothing but data retrieval. Retrieval is select statement data modification. Like you are creating account, you are placing your order in Amazon, you are changing your updating. You are changing, you are updating order in the Amazon. You are tracking order in Amazon. What kind of request is either select statement or not select statement. So your access method will decide, and based on that it will works. Nowadays I am going to explain the select statement only. I'm not discussing about non select statement. Tomorrow we'll explain update statement. I am explain select statement only. Tomorrow I'll explain update statement. Now once you access method since request the once your access method sends the request to buffer manager is nothing but RAM. Is buffer manager we have again sub components like cache and plan cache and okay whatever we go to bank, whenever you go to the bank, for best example, I have not sure about foreign how the how will when you go to the banks and there will be main locker, there will be caches, and will believe or not, when you go to accountant, whenever you want to deposit or whatever you want to make the amount, they will maintain small cash, and they will keep some amount in cash, and what whenever that is complete, they will again go to main locker, and they will get the amount, right? Like same your SQL also, what it will do is, right, whenever you are performing select statement, first it will go to the data cache and it will verify any data is available related to the to that query. If data is available here, it will send here itself. It won't to connect to the database. If the data is available, it will send the data from data cache itself to the user. Data is not available here, it will go to database. It will go to database. From the database, and it will make one copy in the data cache, and it will send to the data to the user. If I'm executing same query tomorrow, so now only to connect to the database, already data is available in the data cache, right? It will get it will get the data from data cache. If you are executing second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, you are getting data from the cache. You are not getting data from the disk. Already you have copied in data cache. That is how your database engine works. You remember optimizer will prepare it will prepare the execution plan, and that plan will stored in the plan cache. Okay, every day it will plan prepare the plan. If you are executing same select statement, it will get the data from the data cache. Memory means when you go to properties, go to memory. Here 16,028 MB is assigned, right? So after complete your RAM consumed, and so after complete your RAM is completely consumed, and there is no space to keep your data, then it will, so after complete your RAM completely consumed and there is no space to keep your data, then it will start filling from the tempdb, start filling from the phase file, start filling from the buffer extension pool. Okay, Microsoft came up with the buffer extension pool. Enable buffer will steal the data from the extension, make you okay to understand. When you create a database, when you create database in SQL Server, database is nothing but collection of data which is arranged from the which is arranged format. So when you create a database in SQL Server, by default two files will be created. One is MDF, one is LDF. MDF means master data file, LDF means log data file. You can call it is master data files. You can call it is primary data files as well. You can call any name, sir. But MDF stand for master data file or primary data file. LDF stand for log data files. So when you create a database, two files will be created. So what is MDF files? So what is MDF file means? MDF files contain actually your data will be available in the master. Actually your data will be available in the master data file. Your original data file will be on in the MDF files. MDF will contains actual data. Whatever you are inserting the data will be available in the MDF file only. And what is NDF file here? What is NDF file means? NDF is nothing but secondary data file. It is also data files. Okay, only like secondary data files means how much time is taken performance. So we are segregating the data by keeping the second data files, by creating second data files. But here are two things. By default, you will get MDF file contains actual data. So when you will go for second data file means assume your database size is very huge and it is impacting performance, and make an educate our application team to create and go to the partitions, will create the different data files so that you can and the data in separate data files, which will improve the performance. Instead of keeping everything in single file, we will divide into 4 files, 5 files, 6 files, move the data into different files so that it will through the performance of our database. That is why create NDF files. When you create database, and here what is log data file. So basically whenever the changes you are performing all the changes, first it will log in the LDF file. It will move to the MDF file. Whatever performing like insert or update or anyone create alter whatever the changes you are performing on the database, all the changes first it will go to the LDF file, because Microsoft telling you cannot directly modify the data in the MDF file. First changes need to go to the LDF file. From the log file, log file to go to the MDF file. LDF stand for log data files, which will all contains all changes related information. Okay, so your primary data files contains the boot page, and boot page will contain the better data information related to the database. LDF, it won't contains any your boot page. It completely available in the only in MDF only. It contains complete your database information. What is the database name, where is files are available, what is the size of database, completely everything information will be available in the boot page only. This is what today's session, and tomorrow again we can come up with another concept. Next session we can discuss SQL Server internals, and after that we can go for SQL Server installation. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for watching. That's it today's session.